1.
What's up, SMR? It's your boy, Sean Butterman. Today, my crew here at SMR brings you a Motocast of the Pro Lights class from the 3rd annual North American Supermoto Shootout. This year's event took place in Amarillo, Texas at the Amarillo Kart Complex, my bad. Before we get into racing, let me introduce our crew and our special guest for today's episode. First up today is our own Pro Lights class ripper, volleyball ball dropper. It's Simpin' Sam.
What's up, folks?
What's up, Simpin? And our producer slash spiritual director, the legend himself, Johnny Bang.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Amen. What's up, Butters?
Amen.
We doing? Today's guest is one of my favorite people in Supermoto. He's a proud father, the owner of Toxic Moto Racing, the inventor of the Sweet Slide Moto axle sliders. And he still finds time to race. It's Jeff Rydalch.
Oh, you're too sweet, Sean. How's it going, guys?
Good. Did I butcher your last
Hanging in
name like I did to JC earlier this year?
Just don't call me late for dinner.
All right, so I obviously was hurt this year. Didn't get to go with you guys to this race, but what was this venue like, Simpy?
It was really cool. Like, I enjoyed 90% of it, other than the fact that I haven't been riding most of this season. So, like, it took me definitely a hot minute to try and get back up to pace, and fell a little short from what I was wanting for sure. But I really liked it. The track was super tight. Like, you had to pick your lines really well, like a lot of late apexing and stuff like that. But I would say it was very difficult to pass on the track for sure.
Oh, yeah. Very hard to pass.
It does
The
look like it's a
dirt-
little bit on the skinny side.
Yeah, like the whole asphalt section was super skinny, but then like the dirt section, it was kind of back and forth. Like, we had a hard time getting the correct amount of water on it. I think me and like Johnny Bang stayed up to, what was it, like 1 or 2 in the morning, just trying to like put the right amount of water on the whole thing. And it was in the morning, it was super slick and like got rutted up like crazy in between the jumps. But then towards the end of the day, it ended up drying out. So it's like we were kind of fighting a lose-lose battle there. But overall,
Yeah, that
I feel
dirt
like
was that dirt was like that, like really light dirt. Like, had no heavy sand in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as it dried completely, it just flaked away.
yeah, it went from like mudfest to dust storm, like within a moto.
So we see the
was a
rookie
good
Clayton
dirt
Moyer
section.
out-qualified you this year.
Yeah.
Simpy.
Yeah, we had a rough go at it for sure. Like I said, it'd been a while since I first ride, and I don't mean to take anything away from Clayton. Like, I mean, he brought a lot of speed this year. I feel like he improved exponentially even from last year. So I don't mean to disregard his talent by any means, but I feel like I definitely struggled trying to find pace, even getting into it. Like, I feel like I think I barely out-qualified him, if memory serves, but then he got a good start, and I'm pretty sure in this moto he got a killer start too, or maybe I'm thinking the heats.
Half second on the qualifying, and you're in the heat race on Saturday. You had a faster lap time.
Yeah. I don't
That is
know
a
the
tight
lap
race.
times going around, like even for the races. I never saw the lap times. I feel like I was definitely increasing my pace, but didn't really know. It's like, here you can see, obviously Charlie got a good start, as per usual. Clayton definitely got out ahead of me. And I feel like I had pace, and like right here, I was trying to push. I was trying to get ahead. Like, you can see, we're wheel to wheel here. I
You were
was
a little bit
trying.
nice about it. Like, you could have maybe told him you need to go out in the lead or back off, but you left them enough room to where
Yeah, I definitely feel like that might be even a bad side to my racing styles. Like, I definitely probably race a little nicer than I should. But like, Clayton's a homie, so like, I don't want to put him in the dirt by any means. So like, I was trying to race a little bit nice. Here, I'm just trying to take the same lines and keep as close as usual, or as possible. Here, I was trying to push so hard. Just trying to get a little bit, but that RMZ got some juice behind her, and
he goes now.
yeah, I was trying to push a little hard in the worst
Snippy.
spot.
And Jeff, I've seen some parts showing up on that Suzuki RMZ at Clayton. You had any hand in that?
We were helping him some of them, and but he's got he put a swing arm on it, shorter swing arm for a little bit better handling. He's working on a few things still, but that was one of the big things he did for partly handling and partly getting rid of that narrow Suzuki swing arm that's a pain for tire warmers.
Yeah, I didn't figure it out.
So here you can see I went down first lap, so I'm pretty sure I got back to last place, if not very close to, so I had quite a bit of work cut out for me very early in the moto.
It looks like you guys' watering job did a pretty good job of creating an inside-outside line.
Yeah,
but outsides
it seemed like that, but the inside ruts, and maybe at this point of the day it was a little bit different, but like first part of the day, the inside ruts were just puddles, so they were like essentially unusable. So people were going outside for sure, but then as soon as the inside started kind of working themselves in and drying out a little bit, those were definitely the race line.
Yeah, that was a good line going inside for sure.
I saw in qualifying Charlie had major pace on you guys, and you guys closed it in a lot come race time, because in time qualifying Charlie had 4 seconds on you in Clayton.
What did he end up having during race times?
He did a 1:16.8 as his fastest lap, and that was when he just crossed the finish line the second lap.
What was that compared to his qualifying time? Was he just chilling?
His qualifying time was a 1:17.
Oh, so he
What
even
was our
picked it
race
up, and you
pace?
guys picked it up. Okay.
So this one, Clayton did a 1:18.1 as his fastest. You did a 1:17.2 as your fastest. So you were only about half a second off Charlie.
Okay.
And you had about almost a second on Clayton as far as fastest lap.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the whole weekend, I definitely felt like I had Clayton on like pace time, but like it was so hard to get around. Like I feel like I would just catch up to him, make a mistake, and drop back, and then catch up to him. But there was like, as soon as I caught up to him, there was just nothing I could do to try and get around him unless I was just like really rude.
Yeah, the only place to really pass is like where Charlie's coming up. You can kind of figure it out in there, which is super hard unless you're really good in the asphalt. But where Charlie's at right now, you can kind of get. I've seen some passes happen there or in the dirt, and that was about it. You know.
Yeah.
We're coming out of the dirt a little bit.
Here you can see I think I passed one person, but then I'm still kind of struggling to kind of make it through the pack a little bit. I'm trying to make it
How
up
was the
to
grip on that
Steve.
paint? You guys are crossing those curbings, so was the paint pretty grippy?
Honestly, it felt really good. Like that was 100% the line, dude. If you tried to get outside of that curbing,
You'd blow the turn like I did.
Yeah.
You go outside of the paint.
you didn't really notice it. Like if you hit the right line, you'd hop that curbing and it was essentially like nothing. I mean, you feel a little bump, but you didn't really lose traction. So like that was 100% the move.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone go down from the rumble strip. I saw people overcook that corner and go down.
Yeah.
But crossing it, I didn't see anyone lose it.
So at this point,
final corner too kind of reminds me of the parking lot tracks.
I like that too. It got me a second to get used to it because like you can charge into it like a little bit harder than you think. But like here, Steve was like super nice to me and just yeah, that helped out a ton. So at this point, I'm just like super angry. I'm just like cursing the entire time in my helmet because I crashed super early on. So I'm just like charging as hard as I can, trying to catch up to Sergio.
Sergio holding the
Sergio
helmet
is
there.
Italian that we I affectionately call him ugly.
He was running a good pace.
This
Yeah, I
track
think
was
because-
kind of. Go for it.
I think because that inside that curb, it's like missing asphalt. It was almost like just aggregate. There's no paint on it, so I think that's why it was so tacky.
Yeah. The asphalt was super tricky too, because like essentially you were pretty much forced to like late apex most of the corners to try and like carry the speed. which was tricky to get used to. Yeah, yes, but no.
I think Simpy's onto something there. I kind of felt the same thing. Simpy obviously did way better than I did. He gave me some pointers on that first turn painted corner, but I think he's onto something about that late apexing, because it was kind of quite a few of the turns were just, at least for me, it wasn't easy to hit first time around. Best shot, it took me a minute to figure everything out.
Yeah, but Butters is just like a disciple of like late apexing in general.
I mean, that's how I was raised, and it still makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, for sure. It just like took me a second to get kind of used to all of them too. Because like they're kind of deceiving corners in a sense, and like some sections are so slow almost. But I don't know. It was a tricky track to kind of get used to. I liked this corner a lot because you just like fly into it, but then this section was weird. And then
like kind of decreasing radius corners almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you carried a lot of speed, and then you had to slow down a little bit before that left, before you go down straight to the dirt entrance.
Here I'm like trying to take outside to just try and take different lines, trying to catch time up on Sergio.
Really got it.
I feel like I had good corner speed, honestly. Like the dirt section was probably my strength for sure against Clayton. He had asphalt speed on me for sure. And at this point,
Japanese right here.
At this point, I am screaming my brains out at Sergio.
So much, you had such better line than Sergio right there. All the way.
Yeah. I think on some camera angles you can actually hear me screaming at Sergio. Every corner I'm just screaming my lungs out at him like, get out of the way! Go faster!
That's half the fun of racing, is yelling at people.
I like that he's not sitting up like Stevie did. It's not cool stuff.
It's like, here, I'm just trying so hard.
You can't keep up with that Italian bike, dude.
That TM was too much, huh?
The late apex into the dirt was definitely a move. You like carried way more momentum, but like here I was trying to take outside, but once the inside dried up, the outside was so much slower. And like here I tried, I don't recall what happened. Okay, that's where I got him.
You got him.
And then he blows.
So like I finally got around Sergio, but by then like Clayton had amazing pace, don't get me wrong. So like him and Charlie are just absolutely gone. So like I'm just
like you had dipped into a 117, you caught Sergio, and then you did 2 119 those 2 laps. You just watched you after you caught him, and now you're back. You're gonna go right back into a couple 117s.
Oh, okay. And like Charlie just out there in front doing his burner laps as per usual, just hauling it.
And on the Saturday heat race, he went a full second faster than he did in this race. So I think he's just cruising because he can feel that he can.
Oh yeah.
Mark Clayton, you can see that you're not there either. So he's just chilling.
Buff Daddy's got some speed, but I got video of him eating shit in the dirt.
Oh, did he? On the 450 or the 250?
I don't remember what he was on, but it was one of the early practices, like right after he got there, and we giggled
Send
about it.
Send that to me right now.
Okay, I'll send it to you. It was pretty great.
Yeah, I don't know how Charlie does it, dude. Racing both classes
He's a beast.
This section was actually kind of tricky because like you see how Clayton kind of swept out wide. That was like essentially counterintuitive because like a lot of people were wanting to kind of stay straight lined from that straightaway, but you had to actually like go out way right to kind of get the better angle for that left-hander.
Charlie was swinging so wide on there, he was almost out to the spectators. Yeah, you'll notice I raced the lights class from the sidelines.
Maybe not
Charlie's
next year though, right?
Dual classing it. Jeff's out there on his e-bike between every race.
Technically, I think I raced all of them.
Dude, I don't know how you do that in your gear, just out in the sun all day, changing
I
tires.
just forgot to put my cool hat on for that one.
Oh, and how was this race? This is your first NASS where you didn't have to change everyone's set of tires like multiple times due to rain.
It was nice. I got to do more of this, ride around, get the action cam going with the Sur-On. It was nice not having to do so many rain tire changes. It's such a cool track. It was just a good event. Jay puts on an awesome event.
Yeah, he really does.
Although I kind of have mixed feeling about the rain races, because like the only Pro Lights race I've won is on rains. So I kind of have a special place in my heart for the rain races.
They're so much fun. It's the adult version of splashing in the puddle as a kid. You just get to do it with a motorcycle, rain tires, and good time.
But thank God we didn't have another wet race for NASS this year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 3 for 3 would have been not so
It's so devastating.
And like you can see Charlie here trying to cut in that inside line around that hairpin like lefter. Dude, it was a tricky one because like that seemed like definitely the move, but there was just no traction on the inside, so it was really hard to cut in.
Yeah.
I think
no
we
berm
saw
there on that inside.
Yeah, we saw Adam Cooper make a lot of moves there in the amateur class, but the speed differential there is a lot different than it is like Pro Lights, so like we had a lot of harder time to doing it in like Pro Lights and Open Pro class for sure.
Amateur class always brings out passing opportunities in spots where you never see passing opportunities done in pro classes because it creates speed gaps that aren't there in the pro classes to get in there. So it can be exciting to watch the classes as well. I always like NASS too because it's one of the bigger events of the year that we do get Toxic Moto and you out to, Jeff. And it's like so nice to have your setup with spare parts, tires, everything like that. When you go to a race, like I feel so spoiled that for the most part when we travel we get to see it and stuff. But I wish all of Jay's events like SMEC had you at them.
It would be nice to be able to get to all of them. It's definitely been, that's what I really enjoy doing with the races. Not only riding when I can, but being there to have everything there, and a bunch of solutions and parts and helping everybody stay on track. Mid-race fixes are the most fun.
Maybe for you after you get them fixed, but like in the moment that stuff's stressful.
Can't confirm.
There's
Oh, yeah,
Charlie
flag.
swinging
You
so
had
wide that he
some,
just about hit the flagger.
Timmy, do you want to air out what your problems were on this race weekend?
Oh, I had big issues on the weekend. What was it? It was it Saturday night? I think I noticed it. It was after
Saturday
It's
night.
just the worn tires. It's just tire wore out. That's all.
Yeah,
He
it
had
was
the
after
broken
like
swing arm.
Moto 1 or something. Like I had noticed it in the previous races, like my Supermoto tire had like kind of dug into my swing arm a little bit.
No, remember where it happened was Sturgis, and we were running reins, and somehow your axle came loose and it cocked your wheel.
Oh yeah, but it had like run a groove in my swing arm, and then it had never really been an issue because I was just like blissfully not ignorant, but like ignoring it.
Because mind you, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. But then this race, I went to go change my tires to like a freshie set after Moto 1, and I looked down at it and I was like, oh, that's a weird place for a crack. And then I like pulled the tire and it was like cracked all the way through like half of my swing arm. So I was just like freaking out. I was like, well, there goes lights this whole weekend. It's like, there's nothing I can do. Like, that's such a sketchy thing. But then Jeff was trying to like convince me, he's like, no, you can drill like 3,000 holes in your swing arm so you can race. It's like,
I saw it on the internet.
like,
I think I know the one you were talking about. When the guy
yeah,
just kept
I was like,
drilling holes
Jeff,
until
dude,
it
if
filled.
this cracks all the way through on the takeoff of a jump, I'm fucked. He's like, no, dude, just drill more holes in it and you'll be fine.
Yeah, when you guys called and told me about it, I was wondering, I was like, well, I mean, that's not good, but at the same time, like, it could have been like this for a minute now, and we don't know.
It likely was.
It might not even move, so I think You guys put like a JB weld or something on it?
Yeah, we just ran to Walmart real quick, got some little aluminum JB weld, threw it on there, and then I tried to act like it didn't exist.
Hell yeah.
Telling your brother, I was like, put some Sharpie marks on it, and then tell him to go out and flat land as hard as he can. I'll like send one of the jumps to flat, and then look and see if like the crack went farther than the Sharpie mark. I don't know if you guys ever did that.
I put Sharpie markers on there, but I don't know, because I didn't have time to test it out. Because once we got back from Walmart, it was already dark, and it was like, I don't think I can really go out on the track right now.
Did you ever check it after the race weekend? Like, did those Sharpie marks get washed away, or did it spread? Or
I only looked at it after I did the JB weld, but it didn't seem like the JB weld cracked anymore. So like,
oh yeah, keep racing it.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I already have a new swing arm on it. But
well, that's boring.
Yeah, well, she's up for sale. We're trying to come back on something different next year.
Ooh, new bike.
New bike, new simp.
Hell yeah.
Stopping thing where we kiss.
Yeah, Fred was laughing, but also jumping out of the way every time Charlie would go past the finish line.
Yeah,
Charlie swings so damn wide, he just about runs Fred over every time.
I like it.
I got her.
Gotta use the whole track. Paid for it.
Yeah. He paid
I like,
for it.
like Charlie gets to like the extra, like, I don't know, he can, that first moto he got to kind of just do whatever he wanted because he had such a gap, you know. I like that feeling.
I don't know if Johnny I don't know if he had the clip of this, but like I'm hoping somehow he did, of me like literally almost dying in the dirt section on this moto.
Sweet.
But here, like at the beginning of the race, like Clayton obviously got a good start, and we'll see here, but like I was so close of just like running it in and trying to get around him. Like you'll see, I think in these first couple, of course Sergio just fucking cocks me over every single moto.
It's racing.
I'm
supposed to do.
He's not gonna get it in the race if he's gotta push him out.
And you can't compete with the RMZ horsepower, dude.
I guess not.
Dude.
Butters, what do you think about that inverted? Well, not inverted start, but your poles lined up on the outside.
Yeah,
and then they were staggered.
Because of how that turn is, I understand why it's like almost advantageous for like the proper line. But the problem is when you go into a first turn, is like you don't really want your inside open. So I don't know how I'd feel about that. They did stagger it, so you weren't like on the same line as each other. Where if you were on the same line as each other, I definitely would not be about that.
I think that was the only reason it worked, is because it was staggered back as you went across the row.
Yeah.
They weren't staggered for the heat.
Oh, really?
They were a straight line, and everyone was pissed.
That's true.
And it screwed Charlie over too, because me and Clayton got a good start, and he ended up, I think, third on that start.
Yeah,
but then
so
Charlie just kind of like
let him whole shot.
Yeah. So I think here I'm already around Sergio. So like at this point, I'm just trying to like close in on Clayton, just trying to be as close as possible. So if there's any chance, I would be able to take advantage of it. But I also just kind of suck at Supermoto. So
shout out to Buff Daddy being smart with his graphics. There, got his number right on the tank. We know who's riding. It's the little touches that just make it all work.
On his 450,
Except
he has
for
a
those
109 on it.
colored wheels, those things suck.
They do suck because they have
I
tubes
tell
in them, and it's a pain in the ass to change.
Hey, don't hate on the tube wheels, dog.
No, do hate on the tube wheels.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's what the real
Cindy, I
OGs
tried to
use.
help you get tubeless set up like 2-3 years ago, and you never took me up on it.
Yeah, it's because the whole like financial situation I'm rocking this year and last year and the year before that.
I get you. I get you.
Whoa.
Same girl.
Stay
Same
clean,
girl.
buddy. Stay clean.
I think right there was where you almost died, but there was no footage of it.
Oh, okay. Someone has a clip of it because I've seen it.
Stevie stuff and either Sergio or they do it on the Cowie.
I like how Charlie's fucking bleeder hose or vent hose is just hanging out on the side of his bike.
That means his bike is excited because he's winning the race, so it's wagging its tail.
It's like
At least
here, I
you're
definitely made a mistake.
more in
So,
it.
yeah, I made a mistake in the dirt. I think that's where I almost died. So I'm like trying to catch back up to him for sure. And I do, but then I just kind of keep making mistakes.
This race, the top three, you all do 116s is your best. Charlie with the 116.0.
Oh, okay, so this is the first time I've heard of the lap times because I didn't know them on the race weekend. It's like I didn't really know if I increased my pace or not.
What was
Simply just
Charlie's
falls
best of the
apart
weekend?
if I'm not there. I think his best on the 250 was a 115, and that was
He
done
was
on Saturday during the heat race.
He was trying to look away the way he was with his swing arm. He's like, I don't want to see my lap times.
Yeah, just blinders on. But he
I
did
kind
want
of
to
felt
beat
the same
Clayton.
way.
He did want to beat Clayton.
We missed having you there, Butters.
It was weird. I didn't like
Yeah.
We could have rolled you out in a hospital bed.
it.
I like how Moyer's kind of adopted more of the European style. A little too much road race for my liking, but I don't even like how I look on the supermoto bike anymore because I hang off like a road racer. But not the knee out. I keep the knee tight. Keep the knee tight.
Yeah, it seems like it suits him well.
Yeah, see how he laid apex at and shot out, dude? That's good.
Just twist that knife, Sean.
Actually, the more I'm thinking about it, it's better that Butters wasn't there. He would have just been shitting me on me all weekend.
Only for like 5 minutes until you listened to him, and then it would have been fine.
I feel like I had
hard
pace
on you
in that
because
dirt corner.
I expect you to be able to beat me sooner than later.
Yeah, I'd have to ride dirt bikes a little more to make that happen.
Sooner than later.
Oh, and I feel like I made up a lot of ground on the exit of the dirt section there too. Dude, I wanted it so bad here. I was just like, I'm right here. Just, I want it.
These two corners, I'd like to see Moyer go back to more of a motocross style. Since he is a motocrosser, I know he can do it. Those two tight corners, that's where a motocross style works on a supermoto. Then the rest of these, he can ride how he's riding. I like it. Like, he's doing really good. His line choice is good. His execution's pretty good. He can definitely feel you. He's protecting right now.
Yeah.
I think that's where like the supermoto riding style has adapted to. Not quite exactly what Clayton's doing, but a bit of that. Just like you said, Sean, moto style and the tight sharp corners, push the bike down a bit, but otherwise more of just staying neutral with the bike. And on the faster corners, you can lean your shoulders and your head out. And at that point, pull a little bit of road race style into it. But I think that's where kind of supermoto has really adopted its own style now that's got all the aspects of everything else. But when you see somebody do it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a supermoto racer.
I like the visual of like how different the lines are right there. You outside and him inside.
Wanted it here on the exit so bad, dude.
This is where you go, ah!
Yeah.
Scare him.
No, I get it. Like, it looks like the asphalt's a little bit on the slick side too.
I was just gonna say, Zippy, do you remember that inside corner going into the first part of that tight chicane? I feel like there was a slick spot. I don't know if that particular stretch of paint or that particular stretch of concrete, one little section of it was slick.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember exactly what, but I tagged that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Did you ever hit it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, there was a couple times where I definitely got a little pucker going on for sure.
That seemed like the only spot I can remember, anyway.
Yeah, the rest of the track seemed pretty grippy.
Yeah, it was a consistent track.
I hope next year we can use more of the that outer layout too. Be fun to try all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that triple left looks nice. If you could link that whole thing together.
Yeah, when I saw the layout of the track,
Here was my one opportunity, and I fucked it up.
Cool.
Good save, good save.
If I didn't spin up there and... Oh, no, that's where I almost died. Dude, if you see the external, like, footage of it, I was completely further than 90 degrees, like, to high side. but for some reason I rode out of it. It was like the gnarliest looking footage ever. No, but what I like about this track too is like we could even come back next year, and even if we had the same dirt section, I feel like we could make the asphalt like a different layout to kind of change it up too. I feel like we just have options at this track, which is nice.
A really cool track. Back to riding style. Buffum totally is still rocking the early 2000s supermoto riding style. Like just fucking throw your foot out.
Hell yeah.
Pardon the French.
No, but he makes it work. Like he still is neutral enough on the bike to where.
Oh yeah.
Because like I feel like the reason it's really gone to where you have to kind of go back more road race is just you're at the limit of the tires, especially on tracks that are super grippy. If the track's pretty slick, you can get away with running a motocross, like kind of that American supermoto style, because you're not getting the lean angle to where you're on the edge of the tire as much. So the tracks where you get a lot of speed and you're still on the edge of your tire, like your home track, Utah, there's so much grip in that asphalt that you're just dragging your peg. So you're like on the edge of your tire. So then that road race style lets you kind of like dip your head below and pick up the bike, get it more on the meat of the tire, accelerate harder and stuff, and drive it into the ground instead of it like trying to skate away from you. But like that neutralness that Charlie's still very good at, even though he has that American supermoto style, is that where if the bike steps out on him, if it wants to tuck the front, if the rear wants to come around, he's able to like adjust his body in those minute, quick flashes that you have to be able to save the bike.
Agreed.
And also, he's just a badass in the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Clayton comes from moto, but we're seeing like more of a road race style here. Maybe that's an influence. I know his dad comes from road race. When I was talking to him about, he was telling me some of the stuff he did to the RMZ, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I found it really interesting. You put a swing arm on it, not clamps and stuff. But the Suzuki, there's really no parts available, as much parts as available for like the Hondas, Yamahas, KTM's, that kind of stuff. You know. And,
there's some clamp options, and we're gonna do that next. It sounds like.
But
I think the biggest reason was the combination of a bit of the handling side of it, but also giving it more room for the tire and the tire warmer.
No, that makes sense.
That was, I think, half the reason.
And honestly, I think a swing arm makes a huge difference. It totally changes the characteristics of the bike, where the clamps are a much smaller change. Like on paper, clamps almost look like they're a placebo. Like, well, I've mocked up changing, because you're not changing the rake typically. Like you can change the rake depending on clamps or races or whatever way you want to change the rake. But most of the time, clamps are just an offset change. And so when I've mocked up doing different offsets where I make my own clamps, looking at how to adjust the rake, it's minimal. Like you throwing your rear wheel all the way forward in your swing arm compared to all the way back will affect your rake way more than clamps will. But we don't think about that typically as racers and stuff. So like there's so many things. So like I've always kind of worried that with the swing arms, that like unless you hit a setup that feels good right away, you kind of feel lost on that swing arm trying to figure out where it's going to be happy, because it affects so much change on the chassis. So that's why I've always kind of been personally scared of this, doing the swing arms. But when I went and rode for PMA in Italy, that bike had so much grip that I was just like, wow, I want this on my American Supermoto.
Yeah, I rode Jay's TM in Texas there too, and coming from on another bike that all it had was wheels and brakes, going to Jay's TM that was totally set up.
Yeah, stock suspension.
I didn't even know what to do with that bike. I could every lap I pushed a little harder and harder, and I could. It didn't phase it at all, but it was just so foreign feeling jumping on that immediately after riding a bike that had bone stock geometry and bone stock suspension.
What does Moyer have on for a front brake? Is he on a Motomaster or what's he on?
Yeah, Motomaster 4-piston.
Gross. Boy needs a Behringer. Oh!
Yeah,
Dude, I wanted it so bad. I was just like, there's so yeah. And there, I just kind of fucked up because I didn't commit to the inside line, so I tried to go outside, but that just kind of fucked me up.
I mean, honestly, his bike looks pretty good. It dances a little going into the corners, a little more than I feel like it should, but it's hard. I didn't get to ride the track, so I really don't know how it should have felt, based on slickness. But
his
like,
dad's, I'm sure,
squat-wise,
done a
it
good
looks
bit of
good.
suspension.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me was, dude, he held you off, Simpy. What a
Yeah,
G.
big time. No, I don't mean
Big
to
shout out
take.
to the Buff Daddy for winning. We didn't get to talk about him as much as probably should have.
Yeah.
He was
Dude.
just out there.
Buff Daddy going into that corner that you just saw. So the footage ends at the end of his slide. So that means he took his hand off and stopped his GoPro.
While
He was on his
sliding.
chest, mind you, while sliding.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's some gangster
Go
shit
back to
right
that
there.
real quick. I want to see that.
Oh, Buffy. Yeah, we'll go from here. Like, look how Clayton's bike seems nice and stiff. Like, there's not a whole lot of squat coming out of that thing. And I
Let's
think
watch-
what we were saying was
let's
his
watch Sippy
dad
throw it away.
is from a road race guy. Let's see, Buffy. Should be coming on.
Slide and
Click.
out.
That's
More
sick.
talent. More
What a
talent.
gangster.
He's got more talent than he knows what to do with, I guess.
Absolutely.
Just turn the camera off. No need to film anymore.
No, I mean, like, everybody raced good this year. Like, huge shout out to Clayton. I mean, he rode good this year for sure. Like, he got speed. He made it happen. He deserves it for sure.
That like 2-story tower looks like a pretty cool spot to spectate from.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was actually nice.
That facility's really nice, actually.
I wish they had tilted that roof that's over the hot pit area. I wish they had pitched the roof the opposite direction because it echoed so loudly under there. That was probably the only complaint I had about the place. Because you'd stand under there and the bikes go by and it was deafening. So it just caught all the noise, having the roof kind of slope away from the track. Just a big catch for all the noise. But
If not, you're pouring water onto the start straight.
Hell yeah, man.
yeah, exactly.
Good job, bud.
Yay!
Thanks, Jay. There.
Hell yeah, Jay. Jay's
This
just
is
talking
where I
to
fall into
Simpy.
my deep depression for the weekend.
I get a text from Simpy after the first moto, and he goes, "I want to kill myself." Oh my god! It's like first moto doesn't matter. It's just second moto that matters. Then after second moto, he doesn't even hit me up. Just like I can't.
I just drove straight back to Albuquerque.
Johnny, I did upload some 9 minutes worth of GoPro footage from when I went and rode with Jeff in Utah earlier this year.
Will you send me the links? Make sure it's unlisted or whatever.
It's set as private
Shareable.
right now.
Quick
Change it
shout
to
out because I was thinking about him. Tim, the medic, he was super cool. You saw his trailer and his side by side as you roll off the track there. He was super cool. Hopefully he'll come back next year for work for Jay.
Yeah, I got to chat with him as well, and he's like, "Yeah, he mostly does like race events, so he's all over like doing cars and stuff like that too."
Yeah, he's like the only medic I've ever talked to that has gone around to meet all the racers and get to know them and, talk to people at the ground level.
Like there's Jeff at his home track.
I forgot about the Le Mans start. That was a fun time.
Yeah, you guys have a pretty good little crew for your Utah series stuff.
Yeah, we've got a good group. This looks like would be 2 seasons ago. A couple of guys that aren't out quite as much anymore.
Yeah.
JP with his butt whip.
Pinelli win the championship again this year?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So he's two-time?
Only
Two-time
because I
champ?
didn't race much of it.
Come on, Jeffy.
I'm too busy. Half the time I end up working trying to help keep the kids put together and on the track, and so I race when I can.
Dude, you're literally so busy, and then you give everyone so much time that you detract from your own obligations and own like racing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all for a good cause, and it's so fun just being there, helping everybody at the racetrack
Yeah.
is as much fun as racing for me. So whether I'm doing it on the track or in the pits, just being at the race is so much fun.
Yeah.
When do you
We got
guys
a
start up
pretty
again?
good. Probably May will be the first round. Every once in a while we have a late April round, but typically May.
Does it stay pretty cold? Like, no one's on the track?
That was hot,
In the winter?
fun. Usually we don't get much for winter options to ride. Every once in a while, if we've got a mild winter, there's potentially the option for it, but it also comes down to track availability if they are able and willing to staff and open it up. Yeah, one year we rode in January a couple of times, which was just wild.
Dude, you guys are so spoiled with the aggregate of that asphalt. It's so grippy out there.
It's fun. It's a really cool track.
It does kind of wear tires, so that part's not great. But as far as like, I was talking to Pinelli when I went out there. The only race I got to do this year was when I went out and raced with you guys for the NASS qualifier, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, maybe it's a bit of a almost a curse for you guys because everywhere you go, it's more slick, harder to ride than what your home track is.
Yeah, I definitely see that amongst all the like myself, all the other racers that travel. It definitely, you'll notice when there's something. This is circa 2015 on my old Italian Husky.
Yeah, this was when you were still full goon, like visor down.
That track layout was super fun. Oh, that guy
Yeah, I've
right
never
there
seen
that just
that to
passed
turn
me.
in really.
That's Jay Miller. Super fast guy. Super smooth, consistent. But yeah, that turn in you're talking, Butters. You'd come down the straightaway. I pulled this layout together, and nobody had run it before. I called it Supermoto Remix, and I think this was back when I was promoting. And this was back when I was doing it. So right here, you'd cut in on this turn that kind of cut back on itself, and it was super fun.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
actually,
the other
no,
cool
this
thing. You
isn't.
guys got so many different layouts you can do there.
I was mistaken. That's actually not the Supermoto Remix. If you look when you're back onto that straightaway shot, it's the turn right after the finish line. That's where the Supermoto Remix cuts in. Even more aggressive because instead of the one where they've got here, this is I forget the name of this layout. It's got a nice sweeping turn in, into right and then left. That Supermoto Remix cuts back on itself right and then a hard left.
Does that be on a TTR?
Yeah, there's a couple of TTR 125s.
Damn.
There was fun to see throughout the years the different class structures we did. Different times where we had, depending on the quantity of riders, we might have to mix up some classes, and we'd group some things together sometimes, and then depending on how heavy the grid got, we'd split it apart again.
Yeah,
good times.
Honestly, a TTR class would be kind of sick.
There's a couple of them around the country. Feel like
now they got like those old valleys and stuff. So like the mini classes are kind of
valleys
wild
have
now.
picked up for sure. There's still like the TTRs and the 230s. There's a few different classes for that.
Those things just
the
get
150R
long,
class.
150Rs are fun for sure.
Dude, I want to see a 150R because Johnny would just fit it so good. Oh, dude, that's devastating. I just saw the camera angle. It showed the cool old, what was that, the West Dirt section?
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Before they
West Dirt,
demolished
that was
it.
a good one.
Dude, that was the best dirt section.
Yeah, that's a good dirt section. It also broke people too, huh, Butters?
Yeah, it broke me good.
Johnny, do you have did you find any links to like this year's Supermoto here in Utah?
I have a
I sent him a
video
link.
coming up of Butters out there. Just GoPro
Oh
footage.
hell yeah!
So we'll see that layout here, I believe, after this video.
I think I'm trying to think of who else might have posted some from this year's event. Zach Barkley might have. I don't remember who else may have.
Just sent it out in the weeds.
Is that you,
My
Jeff?
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me, I think.
Yeah, I love, like, I've always mainly done where you go all the way down the front straightaway when I've gone to Utah, but that turn one is so fun because it kind of drops downhill into it, you know? Oh, it's the
Yeah,
perfect
you
bike
could just.
corner.
You slide so deep into that one. It's so fun.
It's so deep.
Yeah, we can hop over to Butters' video and check that out.
The only bit of Supermoto I got to do this year. On the new Triumph.
Oh, Butters, do you remember Mark Hopkins? That's whose helmet this is right now.
Oh, hell yeah.
Mark Hopkins. He was
I missed
fast.
that guy.
So in 2015, I think this is 15, he was like 58, 60, something like it. I think he finally quit racing right around 60 on a 250F. And he was just fast.
He traveled the Nationals in the lights class until 2016. Like through 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 15. But yeah, he would have been on his 250F here, right?
Yep. Yeah, he only ever raced a 250F. He never even as far as I know, he never built a 450.
Dude, I want to be like Mark when I grow up.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, he reminded me when I first met you in like when did I first meet you? It was like 2011 or 2010. But
Probably.
you used to like just drive around and like, was it a single cab Toyota?
Yeah.
And you'd like just sleep in the cab and stuff. But like Mark was always kind of the same way, just had that little truck. A lot of times you'd have a kid with him to camp out on the truck.
Yeah, he'd take his son.
Yeah.
Dude, funny thing is I've never been to Utah and done the dirt section.
Yeah, the one year I took Simpy, I was like, it was 2020, I believe, because I think it was still kind of COVID. It was either 21 or 2020.
Yeah, and you guys were like, oh, it rained 4 weeks ago. We can't do the dirt section.
Yeah, I will say, when it rains out there, it turns to shit, and it's like
God,
moon dust when
give me
it's
the
dry,
shit.
but
Give it to me dirty.
Dude, it's beyond like the worst races. You see the videos of Matei when that rains out. I feel like it would be worse than that just because you just physically couldn't make it through the dirt. But sometimes the race direction has maybe called it and avoided
I
a
think
little
that
bit
year
of
that
mud.
we did it was more of a road race. Guys running, like it still is like road race guys were kind of running both, right?
Yeah,
But,
depending on who's been involved, like sometimes they'll be a little bit more lax on things, and sometimes they're a little bit more let's avoid the mud and
yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, I get it because like
I'm
the
not
track
opposed to
themselves
doing the mud,
probably
but
doesn't want dirt pulled out on their asphalt and then have to spend days cleaning it. But I remember that year that me and
happens.
Simpy did it, we were bummed because like it didn't look like it was gonna come right in and stuff. Like I went out and I rode it on my one wheel and it didn't. The dirt didn't even stick to one wheel. and stuff, so it wasn't going to be that bad. But they were worried about it, and then because it had rained and there was some like dust on the asphalt, they spent like 2 hours like blowing dust off the track, so like you can go out there and just throw heaters down, you know, make sure all the asphalt only guys had their proper traction on their super grippy track. But this year I felt like it was way
McDonald's.
well, this year it felt like way more like normal Supermoto to me, where everyone was laid back and typical Supermoto attitude toward everything.
Yeah, there's a good group of people involved for sure.
Yeah, dude, it was rad. Like they cooked lunch for everyone, so then did a lunch break. Car workers get to come in. All the racers got fed. It was sweet.
It's a good time. If you're thinking about trying it, I'm out. It's a good old time.
Yeah,
Johnny, you haven't been to Utah, have you?
I have not.
Oh,
maybe next year
man.
that's the NASS qualifier you guys shoot for.
Do it.
You've done the Colorado rounds. Well, you haven't done all the Colorado tracks, but you've done Junction and IMI. Did you ever do CNS with Colorado?
No, they canceled it the time that it was scheduled to.
I haven't been to
Just
CNS either.
stayed at IMI.
That track's fun. I did that one in 2015. Do you remember that AMA National, Butters?
Yeah,
When Matt
yeah.
Stewart was running it?
Yeah. With that big double.
The big double. That was so fun. When I finally got the balls to jump that one, and then that was the difference that made jumping that thing, and some of the novice guys weren't. And when I finally got the courage to do it, that made a huge difference.
I've never had a big supermoto double. All the supermoto dirt sections I've ever done have been like little baby jumps.
I think it was next year after 2015, Jeff, when Mason, I'm slipping on his last name right now.
Niebauer?
Maybe.
He's now a Yamaha guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Niebauer, I think.
He freaking sent that thing to flat, dude, and somehow rode out of it. Like, I don't know how.
Which race?
I probably would have died in that big double at Colorado. But I'm pretty sure it was 2016. It was like the year that it was getting televised. Because I remember watching. That was the year that Timmy's YZ 450 caught on fire and shit. And then everyone's like, Timmy's on fire! And then we're like, oh, Timmy doesn't know he's on fire.
Timmy's the one who sent out when there's a big jump.
Oh, yeah.
Timmy will always send it for the first time. If there's a big jump and it looks questionable, send Timmy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think, like, with the sport of supermoto, it's always been kind of the bastard child of motorcycle racing here in the U.S. Stuff, and that's kind of why I like Jay's idea of NASS. And I think some people haven't really understood the way the qualifiers work and stuff. Like in these first 3 years, they think, oh, maybe I gotta be in the front of my class or whatever and stuff. But pretty much anyone that does one of these qualifiers earns a ticket to go to NASS.
Yep.
And stuff. And I think it's cool because it's pretty much just like saying, hey, go support one of your local regional series, and then you can have a ticket to come to this big get-together where the whole supermoto community can come and have a badass event. It's not just for pros. It's for amateurs, women, kids, pros, all of it. Just like any other supermoto organization. It's just a cool way to try to get everyone involved and not just pull from the small series where someone might go, I'm gonna go do NASS. It's like, no, go and support your local. And maybe I wouldn't have gone to Utah this year if it hadn't been a NASS qualifier. It was like a nice excuse for me to travel the extra. Usually I'll go to Colorado because it's closest, but I traveled an extra 4 hours, went to Utah, had a great time hanging out, riding a track that I hadn't ridden in years.
Finally came back to join us.
I'm pretty much going like 5 year spurts, I think. It was like 2008,
don't keep doing that.
2012, 15. So there was tighter then it went 2020, 2025.
Come back next year. Bring the rest of the crew from Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And
challenge that you took.
Give Johnny a taste.
Yeah, Johnny, you might like this track. There's like traction. Will actually teach you how to lean over.
I'm gonna have to get my butt kicked by the Jeffs.
You'll definitely get your butt kicked by the Jeffs. They're pretty fast there.
Dude,
I'm not gonna
yeah,
say
like
it's
fast
their
on
home
this
track.
track.
I'm not a pro rider.
That's the other.
I'll
That's the other thing that's always
split,
funny
dude.
about riding local tracks is you see like guys that are good at their local tracks, and then you see them in a national, and you're like, they're off from the pace. I remember the first time I met like Trevor Chapizzi when we went out and raced the AMAs at Loudon, and he was fast, and then he went to like Tucson or something, and he was like so far back, and I was like, I thought you were fast, bro. I got a Stark in front of me. I'd actually forgot to turn on my GoPro at the start of this race, so or else we would have got to see Jeff just blow turn 1.
Oh, there's your late apexing.
Dude, that freaking Stark, dude, had some power on the straightaways.
How'd that Triumph feel though? Because this
It
is
actually
kind of like
felt
your
like
first
super
get out
good.
on it, right?
Yeah,
Shake down.
that corner was so slick right there.
That's the moon dust, man.
Yeah,
No traction.
you can kind of see the dust beside me. I just dusted everything out. There's this was like the first time I really got to ride the Triumph in Supermoto trim. I sent my suspension off to Andriani on the East Coast, North Carolina. They did it up. I wanted someone that really knew Supermoto to do it because the Triumph's got no data on it. And they killed it, like for just an initial setting, kind of a little bit of a shot in the dark with the KYB stuff on the Triumph. But dude, I loved it. Like I felt so good on this bike. It's hard to say exactly how it would have shaken down if I was able to go race NASS and go against Buffum and Bronson and stuff in the 450 class, but I really like the Triumph. It's kind of like the KTMs nowadays where it's got the built-in quick shifter. That was pretty sweet on the asphalt. Worked really good. Because like you know how Timmy felt about his KTM quick shifter on his SMR. He did not like that training. But this one I didn't have those same issues with like really having to be super clean on my shifts for it to grab. It was pretty good. It wasn't as buttery as like the factory like TM motor I got to ride in Italy in 2023. That one, I've never felt a transmission shift as smooth as that thing.
You're all the way at the top of that berm.
Dude, well, like to do that, almost, I think I was the only person doing the double this particular weekend because it was so slick, dude. It was, if you did the double, it was so hard to stop for that corner.
The double into the dirt.
Yeah.
I usually kind of half case the landing just to help slow down.
Yeah, no, I was just climbing.
Well, we're not all as cool as you are, buddy.
Dude, I started tossing it into this turn 1 just for like no reason. I'd go from 5th all the way down, all the way down the 1st, just to get it super sideways. And you know how I do it, like no rear brakes. So it was just full transmission, decel slide, and it felt so good.
Are you running a slipper clutch in the bike, or are you just doing the old slipper finger?
I got the slipper finger. Got the stock clutch.
Yeah.
And I did that part I did miss a little bit. It took me a little bit to get used to because like the problem with slipping by hand is if you mess up, you lose your slide and you've lost your apex.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. So other than that, you just got to be a little more precise and without the slipper, and it works pretty good. Dude, this thing, it just wanted to like, I could slap from side to side and it just wanted to wheelie. The traction was so good.
Isn't that
Jeff.
quick shifter only second gearing up on the Triumph?
I didn't notice it as being second, like not.
That's how the
between first and
KTMs
second.
are.
I don't think it was. I think it's on every gear. And in the dirt, when I first broke it in on the dirt, I did not like the quick shifter. In the dirt, it felt like it made it hard to shift, and I preferred how it felt without it. But then when I did the Supermoto that day, it felt so good. You
The
can see those
Ducati has a
custom
sick
wheels
quick shifter.
I have on the bike through the shadow and stuff. It's such a difference. Oh, dude. I pushed the front right there. Can you back it up 10 seconds?
Did I go far enough?
It didn't look like it did anything. But I was just started trying to see like how hard I could, like, this bike's all new to me, so I was like, all right, like it's feeling pretty good. Let's see how hot I can push into some of these corners. And then I went into that particular corner. She went, Stir! And I just like I pushed it right back into it. And then I stood up and like looked over at the corner worker and was like, woo! I really like that.
Is this the moto you get all caught up with someone?
I don't think I've recorded that moto. I did fall in one of the classes trying to make, I think it was the first moto where we did dirt, because I raced asphalt only and dirt on this day. And I think it was the first dirt moto. I got overzealous, exiting one of the corners and just tucked the front.
That's the bummer about this camera angle. It doesn't really do your slide justice.
Yeah, you can see my foot right there, so you know I'm not on the rear brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's always the problem with the GoPro. Unless you're like right on someone, it's hard to really tell.
You mentioned those wheels, Butters. Now I keep staring at the shadow under your wheels.
Yeah, such a unique pattern. Those two bespoke ones that my dad's buddy designed.
It's a shame they didn't go anywhere. Super cool.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's hard. One of the cool things was I got to see Jeff's shop here the day before this race, and he's got some flight moto stuff coming out for the Triumph, but you got me a set of prototypes that we modded in your CNC the night before we were on the bike.
Getting it done.
That was cool. Like, dude, I'm kind of like, your setup was, I was really impressed with it. I was jealous of
Thanks,
your
man.
lathe and that. It's pretty sweet.
You should see the recent shop reorganization. Now that we're bringing in new guy Adrian doing suspension services in-house now. We had to reorganize. Looking nice here.
That corner's the trickiest one. That was the one I pushed in a couple times because that one's almost like off camber.
The third corner,
Yeah.
that right-hander.
Or
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say
the
the
carousel. Oh, second, the left corner, left hand.
Yeah. So the corner I crashed in one moto, this one was this one coming up right here. I went in and I just got on the gas too early to try to square up under, and I just let the front end get light and up.
It's a real tight one. That's the thumb. There's my old
Here's your
Honda.
old Honda.
Yeah, that's Russell Biles. Super cool dude. He races a Hayabusa out on the salt flats too, and he also races go-karts. He races, I forget what else, bicycles of sorts, multiple sorts. Dude races it all.
Watching
Ooh,
that
you went wide
last
there.
wheel. Yeah, dude, I was floating through there. It was so slick on that I would just like, if I wanted to hold the line, then I was gonna risk sliding out. So sometimes you gotta drift a little wide just so you keep your momentum.
He's a pin.
Very nice.
So Jeff, with your shop, what are you typically doing? All I picture is the Jeff that changes tires constantly at the races. What do you do at your shop? I mean, I know the online presence. Like being able to build up, find anything for supermoto builds and some other stuff. But what do you do?
Hey, Simpy, pull up
Well-
Jeff's website.
We've got a lot of parts here. The slide moto stuff that Butters mentioned. So we're assembling slide moto crash protection. As I mentioned a minute ago, we're adding in suspension services. So we're going to launch that on the website here shortly for mail-in suspension services and getting some additional training and help through Andriani USA that Butters also mentioned. So we'll have some really good data and adding to the expertise that I brought in with Adrian Rainey, my suspension tech, and then of course the CNC machines. Trying to bring more and more production in house, and
Click on some of those black tie flange bolts right there. Those are sweet. Those are stuff that you get made in machine, Jeff, that already has like pre-drilled safety wire holes and stuff.
yeah, that's the black tie hardware we source, and it's a really good quality product that we bring in. And unfortunately, I don't have the machines here to make the tie, but really good quality stuff. That's the race prep has been a big part of what we have done for a long time. Worked with different vendors in the past, offering their hardware, and then finally got our own line together. And just being able to have that stuff ready to go in house. We went with
Utah
the
is
Henry
definitely
Ford
one of the
style.
stricter clubs on tech too for Supermoto. They're much more like a road race club where they want to see safety wire on the bike, pinch bolts, oil, coolant, anything that you would see.
Yeah, it's a belly pan shy of a full road race tech inspection.
Right.
But having that hardware there is awesome. Went the Henry Ford style, any color you want, as long as it's black, and that's a nice touch. But yeah, and then we do
if you were a good
wheels and
amount out on my
tires,
trim, that would
and
made it sweet.
so I still get to mount tires in my team. So we still get to mount tires even at the shop, putting together wheel and tire packages. A lot of street supermoto conversions, a lot of brake kits.
Yeah, because
So with the
you're a
so-
distributor for most companies. I feel like that are in the Supermoto world.
Yeah, we're depending on which brand you're looking at, we're either a dealer for it or a distributor. Distributor being, we're distributing to other shops around the country. So we distribute Motomaster brakes, a dealer for Brembo, Behringer, multiple brands there. Yeah, keep a lot of stuff on hand as much as we can anyway, for certain brands.
So with the suspension program you guys are doing now, so will you have like a different setup and shims and all that built for like say KYB or any other? How will that work? Like what's your game plan for that?
Yeah, we'll offer the full service there for being able to not just replace components there and new seals and such, but also revalve and respring, get somebody set up for Supermoto specifically. We'll also do road race stuff, off road. Adrian's got a good background in the road race suspension as well. He's been doing that for a number of years, and so we'll be able to offer full service there: forks, shock, everything you need to set a bike up for Supermoto and any other discipline you're working on there.
And it'll be like you guys will offer all the normal stuff like spring conversions for the KTMs, at least the older KTMs that had the air fork.
Yep. Yeah. We'll offer spring conversions. You'll see more and more of that stuff start to populate the website, and website's always a work in progress. We moved to a Shopify platform a while back, and that's been a long road with lots of things to change and update. But yeah, you'll see more of the suspension components added in, fork bottoms, you name it there. Got some swing arms and linkage setups there as well.
Very cool. No, that's sick. Like you've always been my go-to guy for
Maybe open up the Ducati.
I have, or... Yeah, how was that Ducati?
Dude, that engine is sweet.
Is there pictures of the build?
We're
looking at one.
I don't think we've got build pictures, but got a number of pictures there, and that engine is so smooth, and it pulls so hard. The quick shifter is super smooth, first through fifth. It is really awesome. It was a collaboration build with Eurosports Utah, and so we started with wheels and brakes, and haven't gone further than that yet. But we'll see how that
What
collaboration
wheels fit
goes.
on it?
So it is a unique set of hubs that Ducati went with. Unfortunately, bolt patterns for the rotors are unique, and but it uses KTM calipers, front and rear. And there's a few things that you need to do, but also you'll see that launch here shortly. We're going to put a package together with wheel spacers and rotor spacers to make a set of KTM wheels fit the Ducati, because it's going to be a minute before the wheel manufacturers have hubs, and who knows how much longer before the brake manufacturers have rotors. So
You're on
to really
KTM
make it,
wheels in these pictures? With
these are
custom spacers?
KTM fitment wheels with our spacer kit. It's effectively going to be a front rotor spacer, a rear rotor spacer, and unique wheel spacers to make the KTM fit the Ducati.
Right.
It was kind of a couple of factors that went into it. It's the closest fit to get a set of wheels in there. The rear hub width being really close to the Ducati, and then also because that bike runs a KTM caliper, it just made sense to use those wheels instead of doing something like a Honda. That Ducati's got a lot of R&D based on the Honda, but it made a lot more sense to use KTM wheels, and a lot of people have already got setups for the KTMs. So if they're going to have to use a KTM brake, might as well just use the wheels and make it simple for them. And there's a lot of parts availability for KTM, so just made sense. But that'll also be on this website shortly.
Except for
the Triumph's super easy.
Yeah, the Triumph's really just
Yeah.
front spacers. Like the rear wheel goes right in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you use the Triumph spacers and swap the KTM wheel in. Definitely.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind of
like
nice
that it
for
had
a
a
minute there
KTM
with nobody.
spacing with the brake because it already had KTM Behringers, you know?
Yep. It's nice to see some of the manufacturers like trying not to stray too far from some common current stuff. That was
Yeah.
a flat track race we did there at the State Fair, Utah State Fair. Hot Doggin is the group that is starting to try to revive some flat track racing here in Utah, and they put that race on. It was super fun. I left it just like it was in supermoto trim, but threw some rain tires on, went out and had a good time.
Yeah, I can't believe Eurosport just let you go ride that thing.
It's been awesome. Yeah, definitely a big shout out to Eurosports Utah. They're super cool. Working with them on the Triumph demo and then the Ducati, and it's been really cool for the local scene here. We had those two demo bikes that we'd take out to the track and get new riders out, and it'd be a mix of people that had never ridden supermoto, people that had just never ridden those bikes in supermoto trim, and it was a really cool deal to put together with Eurosports Utah. So they're a really good team there, and they do a good job with taking care of the riders and their bikes and OEM parts needs. So highly recommend Eurosports Utah if you're looking for Ducati, Triumph, BMW. They are awesome.
That's sick. That's so cool. They let you guys demo that stuff, and it gives the opportunity for guys that've never ridden to come out and do it. So that's so sick. Yeah, and then your shop with Toxic Moto, like that's pretty much a one-stop shop for pretty much anyone in the country that needs a supermoto or wants to convert their bike to a supermoto, or maybe they bought an SMR but they're looking for other parts. And now you're truly going to be a one-stop shop doing suspension too.
Hell yeah,
order up your race slicks, get your suspension done, and you're going to be styling.
That's been the goal. I've always wanted to have suspension be a part of the process here, but a lot to do. There's already a lot to do here. I wear a lot of hats. I've got a good team here. Always trying to grow the team. Still small, but there's.
And you're Pirelli Metzler too, right? Is it just Utah, or are you kind of like the whole, like,
Utah.
are you a distributor in a sense for?
No, Pirelli trackside vendor, Pirelli and Metzler. We also do Bridgestone and Michelin for this area.
I vote Metzler. I'm biased. No, I just think the Metzlers are the best, especially race day. A fresh set of Metzlers can hide so many chassis and setup issues compared to any other tire I've ran and stuff. The Metzlers, I think they, after a couple heat cycles, they're not the same as when they're brand new, but almost no tire is. But a fresh set of Metzlers on a race weekend, oh my god, like that is the best tire ever.
I wish they'd make a 16-inch front. That would be killer.
You fancy trying to be all Euro, dude.
It's such a sweet setup. And I
How
think
was
Metzler would kill it
that made me
if they
think
made
on
that 16.
so like the Triumph, my swing arm was nice and wide, like the older KTM's were, where I can fit like a 5.5 in it.
Mm-hmm.
How was that Ducati swing arm? Was it pretty tight with a 5, or did it look like it was pretty roomy like the older
It was
KTM?
decent. It was decent. I would say similar to Honda and Yamaha, where it's got some room, but it didn't have as much as the KTM's.
Yeah, but you
Or
probably
rather,
can't.
the
If
older
you went to a
KTM's.
5.5, you might get some chain rash on the wheel.
Yeah,
You think?
I don't think the 5.5 would be doable.
I love
If you tried to,
5.5, dude.
if you squish it
so
between
good.
the chain and the other side of the swing arm, you might squeeze it. Just I don't even think you could, though, to be honest. But definitely not with warmers. But I don't even know if it would fit in without it, if I recall. I don't have the bike in front of me, but I think it was still too tight to fit the 5.5.
Yeah, I never got to ride a 16-inch front tire, or maybe I did one day while we were testing on the TMs when I first went over to Italy to test for Team USA. I might have rode on a 16 just a little bit and gone through but I really don't remember now. But that bike felt so foreign, it wouldn't really mattered. Everything felt so different on it.
Yeah, quite the change.
I came back here and I was like, fuck my bike. This thing sucks.
Yeah, I think that Ducati's going to be a really good option for Supermoto. Like any other converted build, it's going to cost more initially, but you'll end up with such a better product in the end.
Yeah, and then it's like you get to build it with like the components that you choose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I tell everybody. They're like, "Oh, how much does it cost to build this?" "Oh, I could go get an SMR." Those SMRs are great out of the box race bikes, but you can do so much better with different components, and that's why you still see people buy an SMR, but then they still spend another chunk of change on them because you can still change things and make it way better. So,
I think the downfall of the KTM's is kind of their WP suspension, because even though the SMRs are like pretty good out of the box, you still need to sink money into a revalve. So it's like right there, you're the same as buying a motocross bike and converting it. You still got to go through the suspension.
have you ridden the very latest generation of SMR?
Not the newest one on the spring fork.
That was definitely for sure. The air fork was a downfall for faster pace riders. You could do it for a bit, but to a certain point, and then once
it's
you're
hard
really
too,
pushing
because
the
then it's
pace,
like your choices for spring conversions are either like really expensive, or you're going with like a separate function fork, which I kind of think makes the bike act funky when you got one fork doing valving and one side doing the spring and stuff. And that's kind of how my KTM's have been, or like I've run race techs in the past, like their spring fork conversion. And I know like a lot of people do like kind of like a KYB conversion now, or like K-Tech has a conversion where it's like both sides are spring and valving, like how this new SMR is and stuff. But I still think no matter what, if you're racing at a club level or whatever, after you break in the chassis on the new bike, when they're fresh and they're stiff, they feel great. But once you break it in, like you're gonna want to send it out and get it valved and have it handle better. And I think that you're gonna do that on any bike. So that's where SMR to doing your own conversion is kind of like you're saying, it's you're gonna put money in it one way or another.
Yeah, it's a bit more upfront than piecing at it a little bit of time with the SMR, but
But
And
it
you
is
convert
cool.
a
I mean,
bike.
they are
that
cool bikes for sure. Like
you build.
to get a slipper stock, all the stuff stock. You know.
Yeah, for what you get, it's a really good deal for sure.
Mhm.
You've got a good deal on what comes in there, but then you build a bike and you throw that 6-piston Behringer on there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
money.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably that's got to be the best single-sided brake available for supermoto for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. Like
The most
the
power, the best feel and modulation. You can just do so much with that. Use it in the dirt section.
I love it. I feel like I can be like a stunt rider and like do stoppies because the Behringer's got so much modularity and you can have so much feeling with just one finger on it. And it doesn't
Mhm.
lock up in the dirt. Like you can use it aggressively in the dirt where I feel like the Brembos I've ridden, they are so touchy that like you risk tucking the front in the dirt if you're asked really a whole lot of anything of that front brake in the dirt. Stuff where the
Yeah.
Behringer, you can use it pretty damn aggressively and it does. I don't know how they work so well like that. I love, like, that's the one thing I'd always want on a supermoto bike is a Behringer.
It's interesting to see the dual brake,
Yeah. Yeah, you see
change
that a
over the
lot
years.
over in Europe.
Yeah, definitely heavy in Europe. Seeing it here in the U.S. now, and
Yeah,
Behringer at one
it's so
point
wild how
had
they
a
do
dual
it.
brake setup.
Yeah, talk about even more cost when you want to run a dual. So then it's like you gotta buy fork bottoms
Yeah, you
for
have to
both.
buy fork
Yeah.
bottoms.
And then
Definitely
you
makes
gotta
a
run
good
all this
difference
stuff. And
having
then like I
shorter
bet
offset fork bottoms.
bleeding a dual system to make sure both sides, like say you accidentally got air trapped in one side, that'd probably suck. Probably a bunch of
Yeah, it's definitely
unnecessary heat buildup and stuff
there's
until
more
like
to it
just
for
bleeding it
bleeding,
out.
but
Yeah.
not
That's
much
the other
different than
part that's
say
nice about
sport bike.
yeah. That's one thing I like about the Behringers. They also have that bleeder at the master cylinder. So it's really easy to chase any air out of the systems.
They're finicky to bleed, but definitely nice having that extra bleed valve, bleed screw up the top.
Yeah. Philippe left us too. He went back to France, dude.
Yeah, he retired. Got some things in the works to continue his company and continue U.S. distribution of Behringer.
Very
He'll
nice.
be he's working on that. So
I mean, you've pretty much been my Behringer parts guy for years now. Because, like, for the most part, like, it was just some of the AMA nationals that we'd see Philippe at. But if it was in between races, I'd be ordering pads and stuff off of you typically instead of going through Philippe.
I love that bike.
Yeah, that was
That was such a sick graphic setup. I think that's
I was so
probably
stoked on it.
one of my favorites.
It still looks like that. That bike hasn't been touched
Really?
since Tucson.
Dude, how much you want? That thing's sick. Yeah, I did a lot of the race support for Philippe for Behringer USA, and we'll do a lot of it for various rounds that he wasn't able to attend, and worked out really well. He's a really good friend of mine. Went to AIM Expo with him one year. He's a super good dude.
Yeah. He'd always he'd always give me such a hard time about how my brake systems were because he'd come over and look at my bike and my pads were like paper thin.
Because you didn't take care of it, man.
I know. He'd be like, Bottas, why? Why are you disrespecting my brakes? I've gotten better. It was like it used to be more like when Joe had the team with RSR, so it's like the bikes would pretty much get ridden hard, put away dirty, and they wouldn't come out of the trailer until the next race. So then we'd be trying to strip off the scratched up graphics, throw some fresh graphics on, change tires, we need to change gearing or whatever, and then we're trying to maybe freshen up some brake fluid and brake pads and stuff like the day before a race, and that's like I always
You guys had
dislike
your work
that.
cut out for you. Even when
Yeah.
you had Alex DeSherry with Aspen Moto Works
Yeah, but he
wrenching
had like
for you
four of
guys,
us.
like,
He had four of us to deal with,
yeah,
and then like
well, that's what I
Stump and
mean. Like,
Dustin and
even
Gage were like all needy.
even when he was there, though, him wrenching, but you guys were all there to help too, and it still was just
Oh yeah,
a lot
no,
to
yeah, all of
manage.
us were still wrenching. Yeah. Yeah, and he would come over and he'd be like, "Oh my god, guys." And now that I have him on my
That's
own, like
exactly him.
I tear it down and I do like what he taught me with the simple green and a toothbrush, and I scrub down and clean it all off, get so the pistons still move nice. And then I still run my pads pretty thin. I make sure I get my money's worth out of the pads. But there's a
Cheap
couple
ass.
times he saw my pads and he would just be like, "This is dangerous. Do not do this. I will give you pads if you need it."
Well, just know, like, the thinner they go, the more heat, or the easier
Yep.
the heat's going to warp them. You know that, Butters. You've raced a couple of times.
Yeah, look, I'm using my Behringer right there.
Spicy.
Very nice.
But no, that's like
Ew.
probably one of the main things I like. You can do like the radial mount Behringers too, but I don't think they're 4 pistons, right? That's not 6 piston
Yeah.
setup like the axial.
Yeah, they're
mount is.
four 32 millimeter pistons versus the 6 is 627 millimeter pistons.
They had some really cool prototype ones that I saw. Nikki got to test. Was it like two seasons ago? I think, where they were like
The radial?
beautiful machine works. Like,
Oh,
I
those
don't know
are
if they were
the
radial.
4+ calipers.
Yeah, but they was like super like thinned out, and then they had like titanium pistons with magnets in them, so they would
Yeah,
retract
they
better.
went all out. Those are the 4+ calipers, and they're available. And but they are a radial caliper only, so it's 4 piston with 32
Yeah.
millimeter pistons in them. Yeah,
Yeah,
super
as a
blinged out.
machinist, I was super impressed with the attention to detail they put into that caliper.
Yeah, they're
I mean,
really nice.
I've always really admired like the machine work on the master cylinders and the brake levers on the Behringers stuff. I think like that master cylinder is why a Behringer feels the way it does. I think so.
Totally.
It's like the caliper is obviously part of it, but like that master cylinder is what gives you that modular feel and gives you that strength. Like I can literally pull it onto the front wheel with one finger, yet use it in the dirt. Where like I had the TM that I got to ride in Italy for Moz. That one had like the factory Brembo on it, like that's made out of, I don't know if it's magnesium or titanium.
Oh,
That
I
thing
think
was
those are.
so touchy. It was crazy powerful, but it was so touchy. Like I couldn't barely use it in the dirt section without risking going down.
Yeah, that's one thing that I can't quite stick with a lot. There's a good number of riders and that just seem to. A lot of it seems to come from the road race side. They're used to stiffer brakes. They're coming down from higher
They want
speeds,
that
so the
feel.
lever just naturally feels stiffer. But
Mhm.
they're doing it. It feels so different standing there
Mhm.
looking at the thing, feeling the lever versus on the bike coming down from 160. So way different. But they're used to that feel initially, and then they come into something like this, and they're like, oh man, like I want that one finger light switch on off, and I just can't get behind that because you don't have that feel.
Yeah. And like in the saying that the Behringers do kind of like when they're sitting in the pits, they have a softer, like more spongy feel when you just grab it. I've had multiple people like be standing next to my bike and grab my front brake and be like, "This feels soft. Like, is that you like
Yeah,
that?" I'm like, it
that's the
doesn't feel like
entertaining
that on the
part.
track.
Somebody squeezes it and you say, well, don't do that on the track because you will go over the bars. Yeah, they make some good stuff.
So, what would
And
be
that
your if you could have like your like money wasn't really an option? You got to build a bike. What kind of parts would like how far would you go with a build?
I have been really intrigued with trying to take the Behringer performance and feel into a dual caliper setup. So I would look at trying to utilize Behringer components and maybe making what I need here and there to make that work. And try to build a dual brake setup with Behringer to achieve that same feel that the 6-piston offers. And then, that of course would be requiring the fork bottoms, so offset fork bottoms there. Swing arm, shorter swing arm. Go through suspension, obviously. Slipper clutch. All the little tidbits here and there that make
going full
things.
Euro.
Yeah, pretty much at that point, because it does
16
make
front.
such a. Oh yeah, 16 front without a doubt.
Some custom Butterman triples.
Yeah,
probably go
buttery
with some fancy
smooth triples.
European ones that like got like some rake offset or something. Does Feyor still make clamps? I haven't seen their stuff around lately, but maybe I just haven't been paying attention.
I don't think so. They were really not the easiest to deal with, and I think they
They were
kind
cool.
of, if they're still going, they're probably just doing stuff on a smaller level there locally, I'm guessing. But they were definitely cool. Had an adjustable rake, heavier clamps, but they were super cool. Have an adjustable rake. You'd loosen a top plate and then dial a screw forward and back, and you could change the rake. It'd come with a shorter offset already, and it'd be like 16 millimeter offset. And then you could play with that rake and dial it in at the track super easy.
I feel like once
Literally
you
with two
once
tools.
you go with a swing arm, you kind of gotta go do everything else if you really want like the most out of that stuff. So I kind of battle between like wanting a full Euro setup bike and just kind of loving a redneck American bike where it's just 16.5 front, 17 rear, set of offset triple trees, slipper clutch, a Behringer, and valve your suspension. Call it a day. Like they're
That's
so like
definitely
they're more
great
like
recipe.
down C and like it's like a long like lever in a sense that you're trying to rip around the track, so they're not as efficient, but it kind of makes for a more like playful ride. I don't know.
Definitely a good recipe for sure.
Especially
Should try the
when
swing arm
that's
though.
what most
Just
of us
do
are on
a little
out here.
bit.
Yeah, like I don't think we could like do our redneck style like bottom end builds where you're just trying to do good brake, good suspension and stuff, and go over to Europe on that bike and be like, you could ship your bike over to Matei and probably be like, this fucking sucks. But
Butters, if
Different
you did
tracks for sure.
swing arm on your Triumph, would you have to do clamps again? Would you have to change your offset?
I think I'd have to go with adjustable race cups for the bearings on the steering stem. And
You think
change
so?
the brake. Yeah. Because like it slacks it out so much that like you either or then you got to shorten your front forks, and then like that swing arm then changes the leverage of the rear suspension, so then it can be trickier to get the valving right then. So it starts adding a whole lot of variables and stuff, which I still know. But like as long as you got good people in your corner, like the Andriani suspension that I just switched to that Jeff was talking about, like they have data through, and he has a good guy that comes from road race and stuff, which I think for Supermoto, you do need someone that understands road race more so than someone that understands moto, but it does kind of have to be both, especially if you're not going to be just an asphalt only guy and stuff. But so if like, because like Andriani, they asked me like, are you running a shorter swing arm? Are you like what offset clamps are running? Where if I was to ask Race Tech to do my stuff, or Enzo or any of our American like motocross big name companies, Pro Circuit, whatever, they'd probably just be like, okay, how much do you weigh? Your ability as a pro, and you say you're doing this. Okay, well, we think this is about what you need. But like they wouldn't ask for all that other data that the European guys would be like, all right, so what are you running for an offset? How wide rims are you running? What size rims are you running? All that stuff to get that data.
So you're saying I should send my suspension to Jeff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, just pack up your entire bike and send it to Jeff.
We could do that too.
You gonna send me back a Triumph or a Ducati? Actually, give me that Ducati.
I'm just gonna send you back a TTR 125 with a few stickers on it, and
Dude, part of me thinks
Johnny
Johnny would do better on
Johnny
that.
he'd probably be so happy, at least locally, just ripping around by his house on a TTR. Because right now, Johnny, aren't you still just ripping your 450 Supermoto out by your house?
Pretty much, yeah. The 150
Poor
hours
Johnny
blown up,
Yeah, poor Johnny doesn't have
and
a
then
dirt
I don't
bike
have a
right
big
now.
bike.
If it rains, Johnny's cutting in turn tracks in the dirt on his Supermoto.
Hell yeah.
dedication, baby.
Dude, I
Supermoto
put
through and
reins
through.
on. I put reins on, and then I go cut it in, and like it comes out so prime because Supermoto tire will just like lay down the best round ruts. I mean, we see it at every race event.
Yeah,
But
because it
Yeah.
probably like
Get-
it helps pack it in rather than tear it up.
right, and they'll just like get this like hard pack, blue groove type dirt going, and that's all you need. I honestly think I have like a figure 8, and I honestly think I go faster on my Supermoto than I do on my dirt bike in it now. After my tires kind of laid this new line down.
And then Simby wants to change brands possibly, but then he
What are you thinking,
and like
Simpy?
Jeff like just build it
I'm
out, dude. Build it how you want. Get away
He
from
wants
the
to be like
two-type.
Clayton,
no.
getting a Suzuki.
Yeah, get a Suzuki, dude.
I'm
Top
kind of
250.
leaning towards Triumph, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Well, if you like you and Butters are always traveling together, it makes sense to have a lot of the same spares.
Yeah. Yeah, and it seems like a lot of the stuff from like the KTM I
One
got from
spare
Butters.
swing
Also, he has
arm.
a KTM 450, so then right there, it's like you have backup wheels on your other bike. You have backup brake on your other bike.
You could go Ducati and still have the backup wheels and brakes.
That's true.
I'll get you with the spacers.
And I was kind of surprised. Like, I honestly thought the Ducati was going to come in and be like $16,000 450, you know? But it's the same
Right.
price as a KTM or a Triumph or anything.
I thought the same thing. It was super cool to see that they're actually trying to make a good push for being properly competitive in the market.
Did you guys see the factory editions for KTM and Husky this year?
No,
Not yet.
Dude, they got freaking WP Pro components on them on the factory editions now. So it's got cone valves on the front and that, like,
No shit.
what do they call the track shock on them. So
Track
yeah,
shock
like, it's
and
like,
cone
oh, the shit,
valves?
they're
Oh,
actually
wow.
doing, yeah, like for it to be the factory edition, they're getting more close to what I'd actually be like.
I
okay,
wonder
that is
how
a
much
factory
that
edition.
jumped the price.
I think it's $1,000 more than a works edition Honda, so I think they're like 13.6 instead of 12.5.
Were they about 12.5 before though?
I want to say they were more like 13 on the KTMs.
Huh. Okay.
But I was like,
That's
dude,
not a bad bike to build then at that point. Like if you're already
Yeah.
starting with converted bike, start with a KTM with the cone valves
You
and
got those
track
like
shock.
GPS units on them now too, and so you get all that like extra data and shit. I feel like that's the kind of stuff that like road race guys love. Like little
That's
trick.
something I've really wanted to do is get more data on all of it. I think it's cool to see that those types of things from the manufacturers bring into the mix and do some more of that. I think it'd be rad to put some telemetry on the bikes. log the suspension travel, brake pressures,
Yeah.
but not as practical on a supermoto bike that gets thrashed and thrown to the ground and picked up and then thrown back down and then picked up and thrown
That's
into
the
another
beautiful
bike.
part
And
about Supermoto though too.
well, yeah, no, that's definitely the fun part about it. I just mean for putting sensors on things and
Yeah.
putting telemetry on the suspension, it's not going to bode well for all that expensive components.
All right, boys. Well, is there anything else you want to give a shout out to Jeff or bring to our attention?
Well, come out to Utah, check out the shop, bring your bike. We'll add some cool stuff to it. Then you can go race Utah.
I hear you
Preferably,
guys put up a decent loaner program.
We've played around with a few of those. Yeah, I've loaned my Stark out, and there's a few of us that'll typically loan bikes out. The last round of the season, the club, I teamed up with the club, and I offered my bike, and another rider offered his bike. Two other riders actually, and so there were 3 bikes for the 2 winners to pick from. We did a club giveaway for entries to come out and race for a first timer, somebody that wanted to race and hadn't gone out yet, and that was pretty cool. Worked out pretty well. Other than the Stark got crashed, but that's racing.
Yeah.
But that was a good thing. I think that worked out well. We'll tweak some things for next year to help make that process a little bit smoother. But I think we're going to probably try and do something similar again, and try and get some more riders out that way. And usually there's for anybody traveling outside from outside of Utah to come race with us, there's usually some sort of help on a registration discount of sorts to help offset your cost of travels, and
Or a
they're
little bit
really
of grace
awesome about
on
that.
the tech inspection strictness.
Well, that's what I'm there for. I got all the parts you need to get you set up. We keep bolts on hand.
Yeah, dude, I
Some
got some
silicone
cool,
where we need.
some of those cool black titanium bolts on my track now.
Yeah, it's that's usually that's the big job in the morning, getting people set up.
Yeah.
Somebody
Silicone's
forgets
cheap.
something, so yep, we do a mix of everything. If we've got a bolt, we throw it in, wire it up, or we silicone it, catch cans, you name it. But
Yeah, when I was there was a dad there that was watching his son race, and he had a bike there, but he was like, I wasn't planning on racing. My bike's not prepped. And Jeff's like, well, bring it over here. I'll prep it for you. You can go race. Jeff's in his gear, preps this dude's bike, safety wires it all.
yeah, I had one of my guys here on the team came out. We were between me and him. We prepped that bike in 30 minutes, and from start to finish for a full Utah tech inspection.
That's sick. I think something we need to loop back on is, make sure we probably need to be looking at next year for NASS. Make sure you get your qualifying in either at Utah. If you're as far out as Canada,
for a golden ticket,
yeah,
still show up in NASS
for sure. The old Simpy special.
Yeah, you can either try to beat Super Simp and then make him want to end his life, or
apparently it's pretty easy to do this year.
Just bring an extra swing arm, Simpy.
Yeah, and we're done. Well, I'm hoping next year I'll be on a different bike. We'll see. I posted this bike for sale, but we shall see. It's a tough time to be trying to sell a bike.
Simpy also needs to shout out Brett Towson.
Oh yeah, for sure. Big shout out to him. He got us, some fresh tires out there for NASS, which, made a huge difference. I'd say that arguably was the time I cut off in the motos versus practice. So huge shout out to Brett.
Towson donated all of Brady's brand new tires that he had sitting around in his house because Brady hasn't been racing. He donated to the SMR crew. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, thanks,
Brady.
Brett.
Come back and race.
That's what Brett was
Brady,
saying.
keep out of racing so your dad gives us tires.
He already gave them all away. There's nothing left. Brett's a good dude. Brett's one of my favorites. I love you, Brett.
We all do.
We had a good time traveling to Canada together. He hauled my all my trackside support out to Canada one year. That was a good time.
Yep. I think everybody this year had a super great time out of the Supermoto Shootout out in Amarillo, Texas. We're looking forward to what they're putting on next year. Already looking forward to that. Just hoping for another good year. Just keeping Supermoto alive.
Well fed. And then check back. We'll be covering 450s on the next Motocast.
And who's the guest we need to be looking forward to for that one? Or are we keeping it secret?
Might be from Colorado, and he might be a ginger.
Oh.
I want to be there for that one.
For that one.
Can I be a silent guest for that one? No, I just want to be a
Only
guest.
if,
I want to
only if you
talk
jump
some
in.
shit
Only
too.
if you, yeah. Only if you jump in and talk shit to him.
Yeah. Oh, done. Done deal.